Hello and welcome to Tapping Tuesday. I am Amanda, and for the next hour, we are going to do some EFT together. If it is your first time here, welcome. If it is not your first time here, welcome back. I will just go over our basis of how this is going to roll out, and then we'll get started. EFT stands for Emotional Freedom Techniques. It's also known as tapping. So this thing, that's what we're going to do here. I don't go a lot into an explanation of what tapping is. So if you're curious to have those sorts of questions answered, we do have a lot of videos on our YouTube page that can answer all kinds of things for you. And I do post new videos all the time. So if you don't find your answer there, you could always email me and I'll make you a video with the answer. But the intention of this next hour together is for you to experience EFT. What EFT is really great for and what's really known for is releasing overwhelm. And it can be overwhelm in the shape of stress, trauma, any sort of heightened experience that's negative. And it could be something having to do with your past, your present, or your future. Lesser known, but also very effective for, is peak performance. So this is something that people will use to really train their brain to have a maximum output or an optimal outcome of something that they are engaging or about to engage. So this is where we play. This is where you can contribute to what it is that we tap on. And we shape the session together. So there are two ways that you can contribute to the session. One is by the live chat that we will have going all throughout the hour today. At any point, you can drop in a suggestion on what you would like to tap on. And I do my absolute best to incorporate all of the suggestions through the session. And I will show you how you can adjust what we're tapping on to you, even if what I'm currently offering doesn't quite fit for you. The other way is that if that feels too vulnerable, what you want to tap on, you just don't want to put out there on the web, you can email me. And my email is already at the top of the chat. I'll say it out loud as well. It is amanda@eftuniverse.com. If you email it to me, then I will bring it up to the community at the next live, and I will keep you anonymous so that you can figure out how to tap on this thing that you want and feel safe to do so. Let's see. I think I got everything. So if you know anything about EFT, if you don't worry, just follow along with me. You'll have it by the end of this hour. I don't go through the tapping points as often as I would in, say, like a personal one-on-one session. And the reason I do that here in this format is because I want you focusing on what you're tapping on rather than looking at me and going, oh, did she move? Oh, she moved. And then, oh, shoot, I missed that one. I've got to catch up. I don't want that interrupting what your experience is. So I will stay here a lot of times, even when we move past like the setup statement, or I may jump to here, which is just my personal preference to tap when there's something that is deeply emotional. Please give yourself permission to tap through the points as much as you want, to be on whatever point feels good to you, because I also want to empower you during this time together. I want you to start to feel comfortable to shape EFT to be what you feel is best for your body and your mind, because that's where your releases are going to happen. I'm here to guide you, but it's your brain. So it's really that communication and that confidence in that relationship that is the win out of our time together. Okay. I'm going to say hello in the comments, and then we'll go on from there. Let's see. Hi, Mama Hutch. Oh, your Wi-Fi's misbehaving. I'm so sorry. That's so frustrating. Hi, Lizzie. Hi, Dr. Scott. Hi, Tanya. Oh, thank you. I change my hair all the time. I appreciate you seeing and noticing it. Hi, Zarina. Oh, yours is too. Okay. Hopefully mine will stay steady. It's starting to make me a little nervous. Hi, Francesca. I'm happy that you're here to connect with us too. Braca. Oh, thank you so much. I'm glad that you're here. And Samantha, hi. Yes, I'm happy that you're here too. And Mama Hutch, 2 hours. Oh, okay. Okay. I've had too many losses in the past 10 years. We're supporting North Carolina residents every day. It has tied to my previous grief. Okay. Thank you for that. RTX, hello. I'm doing well. I hope all of you are doing well as well. Hi, Karen. I'm happy that you're here. Oh, and you have a cold. That's a bummer. Hopefully after this, your immune system will feel pumped up and you'll feel better. Dr. Scott, oh, okay, is on the west coast of Florida, experiencing Hurricane Milton in about 24 hours. Yeah, I'm concerned for you and your community out there. I'm glad to hear that you're getting prepared for it. Hello, Faith. Can we please tap on waiting for medical test results? Yes. Yeah. Sally, good morning. And Marjorie, I'd love to tap for multiple chemical sensitivity. Okay, so we've got some physical aspects. And I think, so Faith, I will probably expand that out, but the waiting for things, right? Because I think there are multiple ways that that's happening right now. Just kind of waiting to see, well, what else is, how can I activate the next thing? I've got to wait for this to fall and get information or to have something happen. And then what? I think that's really pertinent to multiple aspects of our community right now. In fact, I have overwhelm is definitely an issue. Yes, Samantha. I had an email from one of our community members. I checked it right before I hopped on, and they were asking, so I don't know how many of you are aware of the workshop that's happening tonight. If you have time to see it or experience it, please definitely go. It is on pre-verbal trauma, and it is Dawson Church and Miriam Paninsky, which this is like Miriam's specialty. This is where all of her like institutional knowledge has come from. So plus she's an amazing practitioner outside of that, but this is also like what she went to college for. And actually I believe what she teaches, because she is a professor as well. So it's a really wonderful opportunity. If you don't know about it, let's see. I don't know if I can grab the link for you. I'm sure it's on our website on EFTuniverse.com. There's a little banner up top that has advertisements that run. I'm sure it's across there, but I will do my best to get you the link. But our community member was asking, how can we prepare for this? And that's, I think that's an excellent question. Like how can I allow myself to prepare for something that's coming, right? So I would say this has been on a lot of people's minds from different aspects. And I don't think we've ever tapped on this before. And I appreciate the conversation, because when we are trying to reach into the future and set a foundation for something or parameters on something, it can lead to kind of a narrowing of expectation that if it doesn't fall within that, then we're like pre-disappointed or pre-upset or believe that it means something that maybe it doesn't. So I'm really looking forward to tapping with you on that, because I think that's very, very easy to do to ourselves and add to something that isn't necessarily positive or helpful. I've seen some other things popping up, so I'm going to read a few more comments and then we'll get grounded and get to tapping. Looking for where I stopped reading. Fear of bad things coming. Yes, Serena, that's like one of the things, because it could also be hoping for good things, but then what if those good things look different than what we were hoping for, or they don't come exactly at the timing that we were really expecting them to show. There are a lot of ways that trying to prepare for something can kind of let us down at the same time. And I'm not saying don't try and prepare. That's what we're going to tap on. we'll find a good ground for it. Tanya, yes, waiting for health issue to alleviate using integrated medicine versus intense medicine. Okay. Looking forward to Dawson and Miriam. Yes. Providing your internet holds. Yeah, especially there in Florida. And Tanya is excited for tonight. Awaiting responses, very specific feedback. Boost our immune system, could be life-changing. Yeah. Okay. All righty. Let's go ahead. Let's see. Nick just watched a Care Bears episode on just that. Be careful what you wish for. Sometimes, kids shows, they have a lot of wisdom in them. All righty. Let's go ahead and get grounded and present, and then let's get into it. So go ahead and breathe. And really sigh. Just let your body just relax and kind of slump. We're wanting to physically send the signal to our brains of, okay, we're taking a break right now. This is something that's going to be relaxing. So let's take another breath here. And notice your body. Notice if you're holding tension somewhere that you can relax down out of, maybe in your jaw, maybe in your hands or your feet, your legs, your back. If you need to kind of move your joints a little bit, or stretch, or maybe yawn. Okay. And then as you allow yourself to settle into whatever feels comfortable right now, go ahead and allow your attention to be drawn to the inner parts of you. So not your outward appearance, not what your sensory organs are paying attention to outward, but turn all of that inward. And what is it that you notice? What is it that you first notice when you turn your attention inward? Do you notice emotions? Do you think about your organs? Do you think about different aspects of your body, like maybe a certain area of your body? What is it that comes to mind? And you allow your focus to turn back towards you. Let's go ahead and take a breath here. And as you're noticing what it is that immediately is vibrant and easy to take awareness of when you're paying attention inwards, begin to notice what isn't there. What are you not aware of? What doesn't have a lot of energy as you're paying attention to yourself? I'm noticing that I am fairly aware of, like, around my heart area, maybe up my neck a little bit, but it kind of dwindles off around my hips. Like there's not a lot of energy going to my extremities, my arms and my legs. Just, there's not a lot of attention that was immediately there. So now go ahead and intentionally bring some attention into those areas. Notice all the way down to your fingertips, all the way down to your toes, all the way back around your rib cage to your spine, and all the way up and around the top of your head. And allow yourself to have the opportunity to flow your energy, your attention through every part of your body. And we're just noticing, just aware. We're not judging, we're not fixing, just noticing. And we're just noticing whatever comes up, whether it's a physical notice, an emotional notice, or simply just an acknowledgement of, yep, there's a body there. Whatever it is that comes up as your acknowledgement of your space is perfect. Let's go ahead and take a breath here. And now allow your attention to focus in on the part of you that you feel you use to connect through yourself, through space and time, to connect with others through space and time. And give yourself permission, as much as what feels comfortable, to bring energy to that area, knowing that as you tap through this session, that you are connecting that positive influence to the rest of this body that you are flowing your attention and energy through right now. I'm going to put my hands over my heart and place a quick intention on this session. You can join me if you'd like. It is my intention that as we tap together today, that you are able to feel acknowledged, that you are aware that you matter, and that you being here adds value and power. That as you allow yourself to be a part of this community, that you add strength and you add positivity, even if where you're showing up today doesn't feel like that's the strongest part of you that's aware right now. That's okay. It doesn't matter. All that matters is that you're here, because in being here, you contribute to the greater whole. And that's important. And I have gratitude and love for you and showing up in this way. So thank you. And it's my intention that by the end of this session, that you feel heard, that you feel seen, and that you feel better. And let's take a breath here. Let that out. And if you need to kind of shake, you can do that. All right, let's jump into, let's start with the aspect of preparing. So what aspect of preparing fits for you? Is it a physical preparing, whether you're preparing your body physically for something, or you're preparing your household for something such as the weather, whether you're preparing your mind, maybe you're starting a class and you're preparing to receive something that's important to you, that you want to really feel like I can stay on top of this, or you're preparing to receive some information that then you're going to have to make decisions. And it's difficult to know right now what to prepare yourself for, because you don't know what that information is yet. So how do we find strength in preparing? Okay. So go ahead and decide what aspect of preparing you would like to strengthen or feel better about at this time. Let's go ahead and start tapping. As I consider this thing that I am preparing for, I deeply and completely accept myself. As I allow myself to connect within me, and I allow myself to really integrate as I prepare, I deeply and completely accept myself. And even though I can't know for sure how things are going to work out, I still choose to deeply and completely accept myself as I prepare. I prepare. Preparing. Preparing for this future thing. Preparing myself. Preparing my environment. Preparing my emotions. Preparing my mind. Preparing my body. I wonder, as I prepare, do I find myself bracing for a negative impact? Yes. No. Whether or not I find myself bracing for a negative impact, I deeply and completely accept myself. I wonder, what ability do I have on adjusting this outcome when I don't know what the outcome is yet? And what role does my positive or negative thinking play in that? This outcome is bigger than me. There are aspects that I can't control. There are pieces that I can't predict. I can make my best guess. I can offer my best try. And maybe trying to think through all of the negatives is my best chance. Maybe going through all of the options gives me better potential. Even if right now, what makes the most sense to me is to lean heavy into the negative and the scary and the big. I hold space to find a solution that will allow me the best outcome and peace, the best outcome and calm. My best outcome. My best outcome in this situation. Well, I wonder if I'm preparing for all of the potential big stuff, negative stuff, just all of the multitude of ways things can go. How do I also feel good about it? How do I also feel safe or peaceful? Even if right now As I consider how I'm preparing, I really don't have any idea how it could feel any different, or maybe even why it should feel different. I deeply and completely accept myself, and I hold space to see differently. Well, I wonder, am I allowing myself to feel good that I'm preparing? Or am I withholding feeling good about preparing to see if it works out? Am I denying myself the support of acknowledgement that right now I am trying? Right now I am doing everything that I can at this step, because I'm telling myself that none of that matters if I don't get it right. Because I'm telling myself that none of it matters if it doesn't work out the way that I want it to. Even if I am noticing that I am holding my efforts hostage and I am invalidating how good I'm doing right now, I give myself permission to change that. I wonder, how do I feel good about this? How can I allow myself to feel good about right now? Maybe I acknowledge that it's hard. Right now is hard. Waiting is hard. Anticipating is hard. And it's pretty great that I'm doing it, that I'm conscious, that I'm intentional. And that in and of itself is brave and meaningful. I may not know the outcome yet, but I'm showing up. And I can allow myself to feel good about that. And maybe I can feel good about that I am doing my best. I am spending time intentionally to think through my scenarios. And instead of feeling worried that I don't know which scenario it's going to be, I allow myself to feel comforted that I figure things out. And that it's okay that I can't predict the future. I've never been able to predict the future. And if I've predicted the future a few times, it hasn't been the majority of my life. But I have always figured things out. And maybe I can offer to myself that my efforts are great and that they are enough. And that even if what happens is a scenario I haven't thought of, it's okay. It's okay because I can figure it out. And I can feel good about that. Even if, as this unfolds, there are parts that I don't feel good about, I can feel good about me. And as I continue through this process, I allow myself my emotions about all of it. It's okay that it doesn't feel good yet. It's okay that I hate not knowing. It's okay that I'm scared. It's okay that I am grieving something. I give myself permission to have all of my emotions and feel good about myself and all of my efforts, and allow this to support me as I continue on this journey that I don't know where it's going yet. But I allow myself to feel good about what I do know. And I do know that I am trying. I am present. I am capable. And I figure things out. This scenario, I figure things out. This unknown circumstance, I figure things out. This moment in my future, I figure things out. And as I allow myself to have this presence within these circumstances, I deeply and completely accept myself. Okay, pause tapping, take a deep breath. Now take a moment and notice. Think about how you felt before we started tapping on that and how you feel now. Do you feel more open, more relaxed, more calm? Maybe your mind or your body is more quiet. You feel more grounded. Maybe you were sighing, crying, yawning during the tap. Those are all good signs that your brain recognized something that you were thinking and saying and said, oh yeah, I like that process better. Let's start building neurons to look at it that way. And now it will continue that process, even when you're not tapping on it. How cool is that? I love that so much. So good job. Alrighty. And I know that we have some physical asks for, or tapping on the physical body, and that I do consider that to be separate than what we just did. So I'm going to see comments and then we'll go to our second tap. Okay, I feel guilty for being unhappy with my living situation when so many people haven't a home at all, and that makes me sad. Okay. I hear you, Zarina. I believe that fits into the category of like survivor's guilt. And someone's response typically to that is, oh, but you deserve to have, your own experience. You deserve to have, your struggles and pain too. And in my experience, that doesn't usually help. So I appreciate you bringing that up because I think that's very valid. And also like not knowing how to help, like, well, I have this and I wish, but how do I exist in a place that is okay, that would make anybody else okay? So I appreciate you bringing that up. Hi, Tess in Australia. Glad that you're here. Tatiana, I'm sorry. I hope I'm saying your name right. I'm the worst with names, and I always hesitate. Even if I know someone's name, I'll still like bite it back because I'm always afraid I'm going to say it wrong. I probably make myself say things wrong because I get so worked up about it. Oh, that's so freeing. I should not hold my efforts hostage by not thanking myself. Yay! Oh, I'm so glad. Yay, that was freeing. I recognized I felt more self-confident in my younger self. Yay! Glad these replays connection has dropped several times. Oh, yep. Okay. I'm glad you'll have it to look back on too. Allowing myself to let go of past failures, not being vulnerable enough to ask for help. I I appreciate that, Sally. Okay. I'm just going to think for a second here. I think I'm going to make this next tapping kind of broad, and it's not the physical body tap, where I'm going to hold off on that one at this time. More of a, how can I be happy, successful, feel good about myself when there's other suffering, when other people have it worse, when I messed up in the past, when fill in the blank. How can I possibly, how do I dare allow myself this when that? Okay. So let's go ahead and tap while we talk. This is something that I think comes up for a lot of people who are empathic, because it feels very selfish and hard and even cruel to allow ourselves to feel happy when we're aware of someone else's pain. So how do we ever allow ourselves to have that then? But then you get empty and you get down, and then you're just in this constant state of negativity. And then how is that healthy? So it can be quite a conundrum. So go ahead and pick one thing. I imagine most people can think of several, but zero in on one thing for now. How can I be happy? And you can choose a different word than happy. I'll say happy. When this is happening. And I'm going to say this just so that I leave it open for, everybody, but I want you to fill in this with what you're tapping on. So how can I allow myself to be happy when people don't have homes? How can I allow myself to feel grief when people have had so much worse due to war? How can I allow myself, any specific emotion when other people, any specific situation? Okay. And I'll be a little bit more open. I won't say happy. I'll say this emotion. How can I allow myself this emotion when other people experience worse? That's how I'll put it. Okay. All right. Ready? As I begin to tap, and I consider this aspect of my life, and I notice I feel conflicted about it. It doesn't feel right. And it doesn't feel right because how can I feel this way when other people have it so much worse? Even though right now I feel bad about my own emotions, I deeply and completely accept myself. Ooh, I don't want to say I accept myself. That's the whole point of this tab. I don't accept it. How dare I accept it? Even if right now I'm struggling to accept any part of myself, I choose to be open to acknowledging my experience. My experience. other people, worse situations, my experience, my emotions, other people, their experience. I wonder, where did I learn to put this on a scale? Where did I learn to place myself or others on this gradient of misery, on this gradient of pain? And I wonder, do I apply this rule to other people as well, or just myself? Do I go up to someone who's had a bad day and say to them, "How dare you express your bad day? Do you have any idea how many people have it worse than you?" Or do I have compassion for them? And it's only myself that I guilt in this way. I wonder whether I only guilt myself or I do guilt other people about their gradient of pain or other emotion. Where would I have learned that from? Who taught me that it is right to judge experiences this way? Whether or not I'm aware of how I learned to look at myself and others in this way, I recognize that right now is a different moment, and I can choose different if I want to. Well, I wonder, what does it bring me to view experiences the way that I'm viewing them right now? Does it offer me validation? Does it offer me strength? Does it offer me support? Does it offer me compassion? Does it allow me to be more of the person that I desire to be? As I consider this process that I have of considering my experience versus others, I deeply and completely accept myself. I wonder, what does this have to do with me being who I want to be? It's more about who I don't want to be. I don't want to be someone who's selfish. I don't want to be someone who's whiny or self-centered or cut off from other experiences. Okay. I can accept and hear myself on the things that I don't want to be. But I wonder, could I approach this as who I do want to be? Is this an opportunity for me to express who I do want to be? I wonder, who do I want to be? Both to myself and to others in hard situations. As I consider what I would like to bring to situations for myself and others, I deeply and completely accept myself. Well, maybe I would like to be compassionate. And maybe I would like to be understanding. And maybe supportive, kind, loving, uplifting. I wonder, when I think of people who I see and feel are those things, are they unkind to themselves? Or is it something that feels consistent? Is it something that seems to flow through them? And then something that they share outwardly? Maybe I've learned in my past that I came last, and it was only okay for me to feel validated or comforted or happy or safe after everyone else. And maybe that's something I can explore and release other feelings associated with it. But I'm in this moment. I'm in this moment right now. And I can choose this moment. And right now, I choose to give myself permission to believe that it is helpful for everyone when I also give myself compassion, when I also give myself love, when I also give myself understanding. Because isn't it true that then I can offer more clarity to someone else on how they can help themselves in that way? Isn't it true that we're all stronger if we can offer others? I offer to myself right now permission to care about myself and others, and that it is okay. And maybe that it's even the. And as I allow myself to explore this and see if it's true, I allow myself to see the outcome and support what I want, regardless of what I was taught in my past. These emotions, other people, my outcome, other people's outcomes, my abilities, my share, my give. And as I allow myself to feel this out and see how it goes, I deeply and completely accept myself. Pause and take a breath. Take just a moment and notice how you're feeling. And if you're feeling emotion, notice if it feels different, if it feels more connective, even if it's a heavier emotion, because connection through grief is powerful. We don't always need someone to fix it. Sometimes we just need to be seen. Notice if you feel more freedom, more power, if you were sighing, if you were crying, if you were yawning. Those are all signs that your brain is saying, yeah, I like that. Let's think this way from now on. Good job. Alrighty, I'm gonna look at the chat and then we'll get right back to our last tap. Oh, you're so welcome, Savannah. I'm gonna read the rest of the comments and then I'm gonna say something else about that. Oh, I love that, Mama Hedge. Sound cutting out in picture is blurry. Okay. Wi-Fi is struggling today. Oh, I'm glad that felt wholesome. RTX. When we, as a person, have been put in a situation, particularly if it started at a very young age, to be in charge of a lot of things that were not appropriate for us to be in charge of, specifically other people's emotional environments. Okay. And we are proven that we can affect things that other people say, no, you can't affect that. That's out of your control. But you know that's not true because you have been put in that situation and you have affected it. People have handed you something that was an inappropriate crossing of boundary. And I'm not even talking about like really inappropriate, like abuse, but but where you're expecting someone else to take care of how you feel emotionally, codependency. Then as a young person, you don't know where that stops. And especially if someone is blaming you for things that you genuinely don't have any control over, but somehow you're able to kind of fix things in that very manipulative environment, you can learn to blame yourself for everything. And even if you're, I want to use the word the word that you used, even if you were subconsciously self-sabotaging your connection right now, that isn't connected to how lovable you are as a person, to how much you deserve to be seen and cared for. And sometimes our emotions do get in the way. And sometimes things don't turn out the way that we want them to, but it does not mean anything about your value and your worth. And the outcome doesn't mean, well, then you don't get this today. That's not it, because there is a recording. And it might be my internet connection, that's creating it. It's not a punishment for you. You don't have to show up perfectly in an environment that it's not your place to take care of in the first place, and that showing up perfectly is excruciatingly difficult and very rare to even reach. But it makes a lot of sense if you've been taught that in your past, that if you aren't able to bring about this thing, then you're punished for it. And I wish we had another half hour to tap on that, because that's fairly common, I think, especially in certain generations. But just know that, when you feel that pressure of something, like it's a punishment, tap on that. And just, even though I feel right now I'm being punished, I feel like I'm being punished because, this isn't working out, or I didn't show up perfectly enough for this, or I should have known better, or whatever it is that you feel like is bringing that on. See if you can unhook that. And maybe if this is something that more people are interested in, let me know. I could do a Friday video on it. We could carry it into next week on the live tap. Yeah, that's okay. And I'll stop there because I know we still, a lot of weather systems going on. Wi-Fi systems are being taxed. Thank you for that, Mama Hutch. Okay. I will probably go a few minutes over today, just FYI, because I do want to do a physical tap. And I don't know that I can complete it in 3 minutes, but we'll try. Okay. Whew. So let's breathe a little bit. And go ahead and start tapping. Let's tap as we talk. I'm going to tap here actually. So as we come to this last few minutes that we have for tapping, tune into your body and just notice where it is right now. And what you're noticing doesn't have to be like, oh, I've got pain in my knee, I have tension in my neck. It could also be, I feel anxiety in my chest. I feel grief in my throat. It can be emotional, but notice it physically on your body. As I notice this area on my body, I deeply and completely accept myself. As I allow myself to be aware of this issue that I notice physically in or on my body, I deeply and completely accept myself. As I notice this physical issue, that I want to be better, but right now is very present, I still choose to deeply and completely accept myself. This issue, with my body. This issue may be something that I can correct. It may be something that I'm confident will correct eventually. It may be something that right now I feel I have to deal with, and I don't know if it will ever go away. But I wonder whether I feel this will go away or not. Is there something that I can do right now, just a little something, that could have an effect? No. No, I can't do that. My body doesn't have an effect on anything, and who am I to think that I can do that? Even if I have some pushback on this thought, I choose to hold space to try. Well, I wonder, what could I possibly do in such a short amount of time? Well, I know that I have a subconscious brain parts of my brain that make up my subconscious. And these parts of my brain are very smart. And they control a lot of things. And I know that those parts of my brain communicate with emotions and pictures, very abstract. So I wonder, can I communicate back to it with something abstract as well? I think I'll give it a try. So if you want to pick your own imagery, you can. I'm going to offer you something. So go ahead and think of where the parts of your brain, and you don't have to know for real, are that create the happy hormones, the hormones that make everything just feel so calm and happy and reduces inflammation, erases pain, those happy chemicals. And see that part of your brain releasing them like a waterfall, like a fountain, like a beautiful stream of energy. And notice it flowing down, out through that part of your brain, through your body, down your neck, through your shoulders, through to whatever area it is that you want it to affect. And it's not going through any official channels, unless that's how you want to see it. You can see it coursing through muscle tissue or through your cells, through your blood vessels, or it can just be this mystical flowing of energy. And see it just flowing infinitely down to this area of your body. And notice it reaching and having an effect. Notice the color changing in that area. Notice the tension shifting. Notice the tissues and the bones and all of the different aspects of that area of your body. Feeling comforted, feeling relaxed, feeling released. And this solution that I've come up with, it may work, and it may work immediately. And maybe I'll feel better throughout the rest of the day. Maybe I'll feel better throughout the rest of this week. Maybe it'll be for the next 5 minutes. But hey, if it feels better, maybe I can turn the waterfall back on again. Maybe this is a way that I can have a really positive effect in a short amount of time with my brain agreeing. Because I didn't force it to do anything. I asked it to play along with me and look at the outcome. Isn't that cool? And as I allow myself my waterfall for my body as much as I need it, I deeply and completely accept myself. Okay, go ahead and take a breath. And take just a moment and notice if your body overall feels better, that one area feels better. And truly, it's a really cool technique. If you're feeling better, do utilize it more and more, because the subconscious brain will continue to say, oh, this is really helpful. Let's strengthen this. Let's make this a bigger, better thing in our lives. I hope that you're feeling better. And I hope that as you go throughout this day, that you know that even though our session is over, that you are still cared about, you are thought of, And I hope that those of you who are able to attend the pre-verbal trauma workshop tonight, that you get another beautiful session out of that. I'll be thinking about you. Send me emails. And I hope that I get to see you next week. Take care. Mwah. Love ya. I can't see my button.